In this episode, I'm going to explain what you need to know about a much needed update to one of my favorite programs for first-time homebuyers, or if you've owned a home before. Coming up in
3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff, America.
Thank you. Welcome for being here. I'm glad you are here, whether you're watching or listening to the podcast. Welcome. Discussing this topic has been needed for a few months now, and in this episode, I am going to explain what you need to know about the March 2021 and the April 2021 updates to one of my favorite programs for first-time homebuyers, or if you've owned a home before. Ask any realtor and they'll tell you that home prices are strong. And they will also tell you that inventory is low, but home buyers are still out in full force looking for homes. Most realtors will also tell you that the less than $500,000 price range is competitive. It's competitive because there are lots of home buyers in that price range. So it's common for a seller's agent to suddenly find themselves to be the belle of the ball, up to their ears in text messages, emails, and phone calls. Unfortunately, it's the other side of the spectrum for buyer's agent. Have you seen this Realtor Meme? I'm sure that if you're a listing agent, you can totally relate to this. It says, one of my friends asked me what it's like to be a real estate agent, so I texted her every 20 seconds until she started to cry. The real estate market, it really is great for sellers as well as buyers right now because interest rates are low. All right, so we have three types of buyers. We have first-time home buyers and buyers that are re-entering the home buying market or fray again. We have number two, current homeowners who have a ton of profit or equity that will help them move up to their next home. And then we have buyers that are immigrating to Utah from other states. And in this episode, we're going to focus on the challenges of homebuyer type number one. So homebuyer type number one has little to no down payment. It can be challenging. These buyers really do need to equip themselves and put themselves in a position to get their offer accepted. They need kind of like an ace in the hole, so to speak. And the best way to equip yourself as a home buyer: 2 years of employment history, check. Adequate income, check. Amazing loan officer, check. Outstanding real estate agent, check. And the minimum down payment requirement, check. If you have any questions about the above listed items, we can discuss them one-on-one. And I will be making videos and episodes about each one of the other items on the list soon, except for the one about the outstanding real estate agent, because I've already posted a video or an episode about that. I will link it to it in the description. But for now, let's jump into the one about down payment, the challenge of down payment. First, let's back up for some context. Homebuyer number one needs to be prepared to pay two things: down payment and closing costs. Closing costs are what you pay for property taxes, homeowner's insurance, the lender fee, the credit report fee, title fees, and appraisal fee. Some lenders will require that you pay the appraisal fee or the credit report fee up front, and some do not. And it changes from lender to lender. There is, however, one more piece of the upfront money puzzle, and it's earnest money. A Forbes magazine article describes it this way. This is an article from 2020. Sellers want you to provide earnest money when they accept your offer because it shows you are serious about the home purchase. And in exchange, they will take their home off the market and assume that you will move forward with the appraisal, home inspection, and other steps toward closing the home. Your real estate agent, the buyer's agent, and the seller's agent will negotiate how much earnest money you will have to pay and how, when, and where the money is to be sent. Buyers usually provide a check or a money order to cover the earnest money, although it's becoming more common for the money to be transferred digitally. The earnest money should be held by a third party, usually a title company or an escrow account, until closing, when the money can be used toward your closing costs or the down payment. More on earnest money in another episode, but for now, let's go back to focusing on the down payment. Down payment is the minimum buyer investment required by the lender. You think of it as your skin in the game, right? So if coming up with down payment and closing costs is an obstacle for you, I have some great news. In March of 2021, one of my favorite first-time homebuyer programs, Utah Housing, announced an increase to their maximum purchase price allowed with their program. What or who is Utah Housing? Well, I'm glad that you asked. Utah Housing Corporation was created in 1975 by Utah legislation to serve a public purpose in creating an adequate supply of money with which mortgage loans at reasonable interest rates could be made to help provide affordable housing for low and moderate income persons. Their superpower for accomplishing this task, not only are their programs 100% financing, but they can finance part of the closing costs too. It's pretty cool. So this is where we do the mind blown sound effect, because that is really interesting and awesome, because in a purchase transaction with other loan programs, you cannot finance closing costs. That is a dollar amount that you have to come up with on your own. Now, let's take a look at the former maximum purchase prices and income limits so that we can appreciate the impact of the new higher prices that Utah Housing has made available. In this table, it represents the maximum prices from the June 2020 update. I've highlighted the counties with the highest population for context. Now, red, blue, and orange here, these were the maximum purchase prices for each program and county. You can see that the maximum price for any of the programs, whether it be First Time, Home Again, or Score, was $435,500. A pretty challenging price range today because of how many buyers there are. Now, in an effort to keep up with the increased home prices, and since these programs mirror FHA maximum loan amounts and underwriting guidelines, Utah Housing has increased their maximum allowed prices and income limits. Now, at the time of this recording, we've experienced a steep increase to home prices, and it began all the way back in 2018. And with rates being so low, as of March of 2020, some home prices, or I should say home prices, are likely to continue increasing at some level until rising interest rates begin to slow appreciation to a normal pace. Now, in March and then again in April, Utah Housing 2021, Utah Housing helped first-time home buyers stay competitive by increasing their maximum income limit and maximum price limits so that we can help first-time home buyers and repeat home buyers be more competitive. Now, let's take a look at this. I've highlighted here again, where is it? Over here. The new limits in red, blue, and orange, with the highest limit now being Home Again at $499,000. So even though you can see that the maximum for Home Again in all counties is $499, we still have to be mindful of this little bit of information right here on this line. Let me point to it, that the loan amount for these Utah Housing loans cannot exceed FHA loan amount limits for the county in which the property is located. So let me illustrate what that means. So if you'll notice, the programs, oh, by the way, one of the things that people kind of lose their minds over is income limits for these first-time homebuyer programs. Typically, yes, Utah Housing does have income limits, but they do not get in the way really of these home buyers, because you can see that they have set the income limit high enough. In this example, $119,400 right there under the income limit section. And so it really doesn't hinder a home buyer in these price ranges. Because if you're a home buyer in that income bracket above $119,400, it's likely that down payment is not an issue for you. So let's not focus too much on income limits. So, okay, let's get back to this example of $499,000. If you look in Salt Lake County, which I've circled in red under the county name, and I've highlighted also the one family properties or a single family, one family, single family, same thing. The maximum loan amount for FHA is $453,000. So your maximum purchase price in Salt Lake County with a Utah housing loan would actually be just over $469,000. You wouldn't be able to go up to $499,000, but that's okay because there are other counties like Davis and Weber County where you can go all the way up to that $499,000 maximum. Are you finding this information helpful? Please let me know. You know all of the secret ways to do that, the usual ways, I should say. I think this is probably one of my favorite programs to help first-time home buyers in a while. Have I missed anything? Is there a question about your specific situation that you have? Would you like to know if you are eligible for one of these loan programs? Ask your favorite loan officer, or you can give me a call directly. I would be happy to help. If you have a loan, a home loan, residential real estate, or home insurance related question, please reach out to me, comment, or send me a private message. I'm sure that we could answer your question in an upcoming video. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening. I am Jason Allen. I am your first-time home buyer expert, and I hope to see you soon. I hope I get lots of questions about this. This program is really going to help people get into the home of their dreams.